8 out of 10 Kenyans are using carbon-emitting transport systems, complicating Kenya's plan to decarbonize its transport systems. The situation is worse in urban centers where the majority of people use personal vehicles. Now, the Kenya Green Building Society chair, Azmina Banji, says Kenya cannot afford to ignore built-up environments in its efforts to deal with the high carbon footprint in its transport system, adding that there is a need to create more awareness of the dangers of high carbon footprints.
Kenya emits about 70 million tons of CO2 per year. This is according to Climate Watch, a platform managed by the World Resources Institute that tracks national greenhouse gas emissions. This bearing in mind that Africa produces 11% of the world's offsets. Climate experts argue that resilience should begin through Kenya's urban centers.
It is important to focus on several key areas, which includes promoting renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency in buildings and transportation, implementing sustainable urban planning and design, and fostering public awareness and participation.
I think we all know the building sector and operations actually account for almost like 40% of the total emission in the energy space. Now, of course, you know for sure with the increasing population, number one, and number two, of course, the expected growth of urban centers, this is definitely going to increase the demand for building.
Speaking at an event on Africa's path to low-carbon cities, it emerged that a holistic approach is still needed for better built-up urban centers and cities if Kenya is to win the war against a heavily polluted environment.
As a ministry, we are very concerned about it, and that's the reason why we have entered into various partnerships, especially with the KGBSC, UNEP, CCC, CSE4O, to get together and understand our baselines, our information, where we are in energy efficiency and where we want to go.
The Kenya Green Building Society chair, Azmina Banji, says there is need for improvement on the codes with respect to green and climate-resilient construction and infrastructure.
Really, we cannot afford to ignore the built environment and the surrounding ecosystem. I mean, the built environment contributes almost 40% globally to greenhouse gas emissions, right? Not to mention its enormous contribution to energy consumption as well as waste production.
Alanauko, Easy Friday.